Hello there. Hi there, and thanks for joining me. Good to see you all. Here we are. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. For a start, it's actually a really nice day here. Sun's shining, the garden's looking beautiful, and I'm working hard at my desk. Yes, but since last week, we've had an election in the States, which, barring any successful challenge, is going to result in a change in administration there in January, which, of course, will have a lot of influence on business. We don't know exactly yet, of course, but it's likely to be less friendly, I suspect, to the upstream energy sector. I did see some research by one of the shipbrokers that said a Biden presidency would be good for the bulk carrier trades, but a Trump presidency for the tanker trades. Make of that what you will. There's every cloud has a silver lining, as it were. But yes, changes to come there. Changes to come as well in the pandemic, with news coming out that vaccines are looking very promising and could be rolled out soon. So hopefully by next summer, at least, we might be back to something like normal. Because I don't know about you, but for me, the summer months anyway, at least, were really quite quiet in terms of industry news. It wasn't until we got into October, September, late September certainly, and we started having those conferences and other events that went online, and there was more to write about. But over the last couple of weeks, I have to say, there's been an awful lot of news, an awful lot of movement going on all the way through the dangerous goods supply chain, which I'm writing up for the December issue of HCB, mostly. A lot of juicy stuff, and it goes, like I say, all the way through. And I thought I'd bring together this week just a few of the highlights for you in case you've missed them. I mean, a lot for a start in the storage terminal business, where Rubis Terminal has completed its acquisition of Tepsa in Spain. That's a pretty big deal for Rubis Terminal anyway, which is now a joint venture between Rubis and I Squared Capital. And one dare say that the funds made available by I Squared Capital have been very helpful in the acquisition of Tepsa. It does turn Rubis Terminal into quite a significant operator across Europe. Rubis Terminal also issued a bond, I noticed, just before the deal was closed, which was snapped up by investors, showing that there is there's quite some appetite for investing in the tank terminal sector still. I might have done so myself if I'd been a bit faster off the mark. New Star Energy sold its Texas City terminals, two small sites next to each other, nearby, to BWC Terminals. That's a good deal for them. Vopak, through a joint venture with an investment firm, in this case BlackRock, is buying 3 industrial terminals from Dow on the Gulf Coast in the States. Vopak has also been busy, I noticed, in their third quarter results that were released recently. They've added some capacity in Durban, at Merak in Indonesia, and at Vlissingen in the Netherlands. And they've also announced another expansion project in Brazil at the Alamar terminal in Santos. Also notable is the commissioning of a new LPG terminal at Richards Bay in South Africa, in a joint venture between Bidvest Tank Terminals and Petrodec, the LPG trader and ship owner, which is also, I think, probably coincidentally, just stuck in a stonking order for 6 very very large, very, very large gas carriers, I think we're going to have to call them. The upper end of the VLGC size range is growing all the time. And speaking of which, Satellite Petrochemical in China is beginning to take delivery. Well, it's owners who are chartering the ships to Satellite. A new generation of very large ethane carriers, and when I say very large, again, these are very large ethane carriers. The ethane carrier market is quite an interesting one because, of course, this is quite a new trade, and ethane has to be carried at cryogenic temperatures. So the design of these ships is much closer to that of LNG carriers. What else was there? Oh, yes, in the chemical tanker trades, yes, consolidation, the name of the game. Odfjell, when was this? This was a couple of weeks ago, announced a new pool for IMO2 coated tankers. It put 6 of its in, and Navigate Chemical Tankers added 6 of its, and then that's attracted the Transportation Recovery Fund, TRF, to put 7 ships in. Christian Murch said in an interview with TradeWinds I saw this week, he said that a 19-ship fleet is quite a player in that segment of the market. Stolt too has been active and has, after they picked up 5 stainless steel ships on the second-hand market a couple of months ago, and that was a really good deal for them, I think. They had been sailing in an Odfjell pool. They're not now, of course. And they won't be involved in this venture either. Stolt set up a joint venture company with John T. Esberger called E&S Shipping, basically merging their European operations in chemical tankers. That's the SNIES fleet, Stolt-Nielsen into Europe service, which in purely ship numbers is the junior partner in E&S Shipping. But I think both this and the Odfjell deal are interesting because the chemical tanker market has been doing reasonably well of late, and part of that is because of the low level of new building activity, despite the vagaries of chemical tanker demand during the volatile year we've had. And if you're a major player, like Odfjell and Stolt both are, then the only way to grow is to go into deals like this. MOL Chemical Tankers, the other one of the big 3 last year, expanded through acquisition, the Nordic Tankers deal. There's a lot going on in terms of chemical distribution as well lately. Barents has been buying up companies left, right and centre, and has announced that it's going to acquire Maroon Group in the States. That moves Barents up into the top echelons of chemical distribution worldwide. Perhaps not as big as the big boys, but it's certainly a noisy move. Brenntag and Univar, the 2 biggest international distributors, have not been idle either. They've both been making acquisitions, signing new deals, going online. This is a big focus for all of the distributors at the moment. And both have got new strategies in place. Brenntag's, they call it Project Brenntag, kicked off by Christian Colpaint when he took over as CEO at the start of the year. I bet he wasn't expecting what he's seen, but he was very good actually as a speaker at the EPCA annual meeting. And there's a reorganisation, restructuring of the corporation. There's going to be some job losses by the looks of things, but also some investment in new facilities. Univar Solutions has its own Streamline 2022 project going on. I've also heard that Time Technoplast, the Indian packaging manufacturer, is starting production of industrial packagings in the States. I haven't got full details on that at the moment, but I should be talking to them soon. And the other thing I wanted to mention before I close is hydrogen. We've talked on and off about hydrogen in terms of its role in decarbonising the world. Vopak mentioned hydrogen specifically in its third quarter report about where it was looking to invest and grow its business. There's an announcement came out from, well, Oiltanking, I got it from, but Oiltanking is one of many players in the consortium, with a new hydrogen to methanol plant being constructed in Ghent in Belgium as part of a much bigger carbon capture and utilisation project. And also Class NK, the Japanese Classification Society. I've got the document out because this is too much to remember. They are now actively helping develop hydrogen, the hydrogen supply chain, because there's expected to be demand for shipping this stuff. And again, this is a very, very cryogenic material. I think it's minus 253 degrees centigrade atmospheric pressure. And they've classed a new build called Suizo Frontier, 1,250 cubic meters. Actually, it was launched at the end of last year. But being a brand new concept, I think gas trials and sea trials are still ongoing, expected to be delivered by the end of this year. So I'm expecting to be writing a lot more about hydrogen over the coming years. I shall have to really do some research and find out what's going on. But be rest assured, you will be the first to hear whatever I know. So that's a bit of a wrap up. More detail will be in stories that will be in the December issue of HCB. Many of those are already up online on the HCB Live website. Go take a look if you want to learn more. Thanks for watching. Good to see you all, and take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.